Welcome to a new episode of the XR Magazine podcast. My name is Diana Olenik, your host, and today we're going to be speaking about Rocket VR Health. So, the vision of Rocket VR Health is to provide the most engaging and effective way for people to improve their mental health and wellness by leveraging proven therapeutic interventions enhanced by the power of virtual reality. Their immersive mental health platform utilizes neuroscience backed meditation and therapeutic techniques delivered as self guided or facilitator led sessions in breathtaking immersive environments. I had the opportunity to meet previously Nick, who is one of the co founders of Rocket VR Health. And I can say right now that it is so fascinating to learn how all of these technologies are allowing for people to even receive treatments remotely, which is very exciting. So, of course, if you are interested about this topic, it's always amazing to be able to hear directly from them. So, let's do it. Hello, Nick. I'm super excited by having you here today. How are you doing today, by the way?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you, Dana. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. So please let us know about your background and perhaps how Rocket VR got started.
Yeah, for sure. So I've been working in tech for about 10 years. I started my career off working in data analytics, helping companies make better sense of their information with business intelligence solutions, mainly working with large organizations as well as the governments. And moved into cybersecurity, helping protect people's information with antivirus, firewalls, encryption. Um, my focus has really been on this sales and marketing side, so really helping take these very complex solutions and really showcase the business value to companies. Um, Around 2019, I was really inspired to become an entrepreneur, taking what I've learned from working with these amazing tech companies and really creating something of value. My first startup was called Mindleap Health. It's an application that connects people to psychedelic therapists. I've also been involved with several other tech startups, mainly in biometric tracking within healthcare clinics, as well as artificial intelligence using an IBM Watson algorithm and a really interesting cryptocurrency price trend prediction application. But after selling Mindleap to a biotech firm, I began investing in different tech companies, and this is how I connected with Rocket VR and my co-founder Sid. I love the idea of using immersive therapeutics to improve mental health. And after being an advisor and just seeing all the amazing progress, I was really inspired to be a part of this and really see how we can, create the most engaging and effective mental health intervention using this new technology.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your intro. So I'd like to know, for someone who is maybe new in this field, it might be around they had this question of why mental health in a medium like this. Is there maybe some research that brings maybe this data that it might be more effective, or what would be the difference of having a regular therapy session in person compared with in a media like VR?
Yeah, that's a great question. So really, mental health therapy delivery has really evolved, immensely in the last 100 years. It started off with, not being important and really being ignored, to moving into going into the therapy couch, and then moving over to the telephone, and now to the smartphone with mobile applications. And as VR headsets become ubiquitous and become the next great computing platform, the benefits of 3D immersive communication and interactivity are going to really translate into delivering mental health support. So there's been a ton of research into this, close to 100 different research studies. And really the biggest benefits of delivering mental health interventions within VR are engagement. So engagement within mobile applications has been awful. I can tell you from experience that, and from research that after 30 days, 80% of users stop using a mobile mental health application. And a lot of that actually drop happens in the first 3-4 days. And a lot of that stems from, distraction, people having TikTok, Instagram, the news, their text messages, and then they really aren't able to engage fully into it. And I think whenever you put on that VR headset, it fully removes all distraction, puts you in the moment, and you can really focus on that intervention. The second piece that really makes VR for mental health delivery an amazing solution is really the interactivity. So, gone are the days where you're going to be watching a 2D video or answering some questions on an application. You can actually be an active participant in this healing journey. And actually, this is a really good approach when it comes to, visual and kinesthetic learners, where you actually are being able to further remember the things that you are actually interacting with versus, something that you would have, via an audio is just a much greater improvement. And there's still not a lot of data, kind of showing the how the brain actually interacts within these VR environments, and it really putting it side to side. But it is something that is coming and something that we're looking to work on, and a lot of other companies are, to really look at the side by side comparison to really notice the improvements of upgrading mental health interventions to VR and XR as well.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that has been like a common new understanding of people from different fields, especially the medicine field, trying to find new ways. And in research, it has been very well supported. These type of applications where patients, for example, can have other experiences before going to the surgeries or having some training, etc. So I feel that there is a lot of course good uses there. Thank you for expanding on that. And in terms of the experiences that are there, particularly in Rocket VR, which ones are you working on, and how are you maybe introducing the users to those type of experiences?
Yeah, for sure. So far we've created about 18 cognitive behavioral therapy based games. So these are games that coincide with a learning lesson. And the games really help our users understand how to manage their thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, and how to change them in a more positive fashion. So to give you an example, when we first started out the company, we had a great team of VR creators, designers, developers that have created many different video games, as well as movies and whatnot. And we knew that that was something that we're strong in, but we really wanted to actually work with some of the brightest minds to actually take mental health interventions that have already been proven, and upgrade them to VR. So we actually partnered with Massachusetts General Hospital out in Boston. They're Harvard's research hospital, and have some incredible mental health professionals working there. And we really work with them to really figure out what is the best patient population that would benefit from this the most. And we found that patients undergoing stem cell transplantation are in the hospital for about 30 days. And because their immune system is being regenerated, they're actually unable to have access to the outside world. So what we've created with our first digital therapeutic intervention is a way for these patients to actually visit beautiful virtual reality nature locations where their mental health therapy sessions take place. So we've actually pre-recorded our mental health psychologist, Dr. Hermie, on a green screen to put her into those environments where she delivers that learning lesson. And then the patient then goes in and is able to then play a game that reinforces what they learned in that mental health learning lesson. And then they're able to then meditate in this beautiful location at the end and also whenever they want. So we really wanted to, think about, in this early user adoption phase, we really wanted to be very research driven, really take an intervention that's already proven so we know that it's going to work, and then be able to then rigorously study it in order for us to really build that, experience of us actually, successfully building these types of applications and then being able to then successfully deliver something that is effective before being able to then to release to kind of a broader public and start making it be commercially available through the Meta store, the Vive store, and the Pico store. But before that, we just really wanted to make sure that these interventions actually work. And I'm really excited to say our second clinical trials undergoing. It has already started, so we already have some more patients actually going through our 4-week intervention at MGH Hospital, I guess, as we speak.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you. So when you mention cognitive behavioral therapy and that you have some games created for that purpose, what particularly do you mean by those games? How do they look like in regarding the application of cognitive behavioral therapy?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we've taken some important concepts and we've been able to translate them into different games. So I'll give you one game that has been very impactful for people. So there's different ways you can cope with stress or the bad things going on in your life. And there's different types of coping strategies. So one of the coping strategy is problem focused coping. And then you use problem focused coping is when you can actually solve the problem. The other type of coping strategy is emotional focused coping. But you use emotional focused coping when you actually can't control the outcome of the problem that's happening in your life. So, for instance, if you have a cancer diagnosis, you can't control how your treatment is going to go. It's really out of your control. So then if you try to use a problem focused coping strategy for something that you should be using an emotional focused coping strategy, you're going to be feeling really bad. But for me to explain this to you, it has its complexities. So then what we did is we just created a game. So then I think this game takes place in the forest. So while you're relaxing in the forest, these bubbles come up, and then you have to match the bubble, which is the coping strategy, to the correct, is it an emotional or a problem focused coping strategy? So then you're able to then match it to the right side. So you match the bubble to the right coping strategy, and then as you make progress, the tree starts growing. So then you can see the progress that you have. So then the visualization of you realizing the correct coping strategy to use is something that really sticks with you more than if you would read it or listen about it or somebody tells you. So then that actual experiential aspect of that game is something that users have told us really sticks with them. So then we've created a bunch more with our mental health team and some of the doctors. So then we're really taking these important concepts that you otherwise wouldn't know on your own unless you read a book or, actually, were interacting with therapy, and we just made them more accessible and then more memorable and more fun.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that sounds interesting. So you also have, yeah, those facilitator-led sessions, really. Uh, w- how was the process, the technicals of having someone in the green screen and then bringing it into Unity? I believe that's what you're using. How was the actual, like the challenges as well, those technicals of implementing these mechanics?
Yeah, so we had to make some decisions. It was really interesting, just because we're, early stage startup. You have to really be careful with what you spend your money on, and we really wanted to bring our doctor, as a 4K hologram into the experience. So we spoke to some volumetric capture studios, to really explore how that works, and the cost was just, very high, for our first application. We're now, we want to do it in the future for sure. So one of our advisors, his name is Don from Charles River Media Group. They have a really great studio out in Boston, and he suggested that, if we filmed a doctor, for those, learning lessons, on a green screen, and actually position it right, and figure out, the actual lighting of the virtual environment, and then match that lighting for the filming session on the green screen, we'd be able to place the doctor within that virtual environment. And then we'd be able to, effectively be more cost effective than, having a 4K hologram. So we took that, and it turned out really well. I think, some of the important things is just knowing the distance where, it actually looks very realistic, and then being able to then match the lighting to the environment. So then being able to plan out, if you have the studio for an entire day, what are all the shots you're going to get, and what is the script that you're going through, and then what is going to be the lighting for the different environments, so then you can actually match it up, and then be able to do your shoot very effectively, are some of the, kind of important parts of doing that. I think moving into the volumetric capture, with that technology, I think it's going to be really interesting to actually have, the interactivity in terms of, placing avatars within, the virtual environments, and being able to, communicate back and forth is something that we want to do as well. As in, kind of an AI mental health assistant that you can really pull out with your smart glasses in the future. But in the beginning, it would just be, somebody that assists you, throughout your journey, within a Rocket VR intervention. But I think, my advice would be is like, start small. You don't need to have, something, as incredible as these, volumetric capture cameras. Like, I think you can really figure out different ways to really deliver those learning lessons. We've also delivered learning lessons, fully via audio, or via like a immersive journey that you go through. So it doesn't have to be, something that is, you know, overly produced. I think as long as it is tasteful, and it matches, the look and feel of the application, I think it can be done, in a regular studio, or, perhaps not done at all, but done in a more creative fashion, that still, delivers the message, but is still an exciting part of the therapeutic journey that, people go through.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. And so, at what point of the production of the app, like the Experience Rocket VR, did you decide to take it already to the hospitals, or to start showing it in the market?
So we started with the hospitals. So we showed them a very small demo, to get them on board, and we created a partnership, with, specifically MGH Hospital, where we developed the whole intervention together. And we really wanted to do that, just to make sure that it works, and just to make sure that, the complexities of, the patients that we're working with were being kept in mind. So something that I learned, and this is why I'm so glad we had experts, to work with us, is specifically if you are working with cancer patients, and let's say you're creating an environment, well, creating a sunset is something that's a no-go. The doctor's like, you can't have a sunset. You can have a sunrise, but the sunset symbolically represents, kind of the end of life. So we don't want that. So then for us, it was very instrumental to be able to working with them. We have, for some of our other interventions as well, we're working with not in a co-development relationship, but more in like a research partnership. We're working with Penn Medicine in Philadelphia for anxiety reduction project, and then we're also working with the University of Calgary for a pain reduction meditation program. So then with each one of those, we just really wanted to be evidence-based and make sure that, what we're doing is rooted in science, and it's not just in interactivity and fun and VR. So I think the combination of those two facets, I think is extremely vital if you are, working in the healthcare field.
Mm-hmm. And right now, where the app is available, in what platform?
So we deliver our application using Manage XR to Pico Neo 3 devices, and then currently we're still researching, so it's not widely available. We're really kind of taking the time to learn from our research studies, and then we plan on releasing, broadly in the new year. So be on the lookout sometime February, March. We're going to be in the App Store with something that's just more applicable to everybody, not just within cancer, but then it's really taking what we've learned from these research studies and then really improving upon it. So I'll definitely let you know when our application is out next year.
Thank you so much. That sounds super exciting, and it's been an incredible chat about therapeutics in VR. Please let us know. Do you have any other things that you'd like to add, or do you wish I had asked you something else?
No, this is great. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, and thank you to all the listeners as well. If anybody's interested, feel free to reach out if you want to talk, about a project you're working on, or if you like our mission and you'd like to, explore and joining the team.
Mhm. Yeah. Thank you so much, and see you in the next episode. Bye for now.
Thank you, Dana.